Hey, Hal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm Trucker John.
Oh, hey, Trucker John. Right on. Good to meet you.
I got some sparklers in here watching you.
Oh, right on.
They're we got 40 good people here. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, hi. Great show.
So much.
Awesome show. Everyone loved it. Everyone's been.
It's all. We're getting to the point where we're going to be able to set up and stream the shows and bring a thing with us, but we'll work on it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Well, every time you're here, I'm going to come by and watch you guys. Every single time.
Nice to see you in person.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Great seeing your. Decided to say hi and I enjoyed the show and you guys are awesome, man.
Thanks.
Oh, everyone loves you. Everyone's just grooving to the band, man, and
Brett Michaels mentioned this.
You know what? I think of like you have a name, like a persona.
Yeah. Well,
instead of Hal Sparks. What do you have one for New Hurt for New Hair?
I started doing it as Waldo because if you watch the Hot Procedure video, that's Waldo is the kid that gets picked on.
Oh yeah.
They show him like nobody knows what happened to Waldo, but he's wearing like a fur coat and surrounded by hot chicks. And he's still a 10-year-old boy, which is super weird. He looks like alfalfa.
Yeah.
When we started this, I was like, I'll be Waldo all grown up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking Sammy Lee Sparks.
That sounds like, I gotta say.
But it's almost too cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's too cool.
It sounds like a serial killer. From the South, specifically.
Yeah. Sammy Lee?
One of the lesser known. Yeah, right. But still, he charted.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He had. He's only had one Dateline episode, but I think he deserves the job. Thank you so much.
Oh, hey, thank you, man.
Bye, Friday.
Oh, yeah. They're still hanging in there.
I know.
They're not leaving. Alrighty. I got to say hi to Summer. Hi, Summer. How you doing? I just I watch you on Facebook and YouTube, and big fan of Hal's, and so it's great to see you. I got sparklers in here, so. And there's Caleb. Alrighty. Take care.
Hey everybody, I am here. Okay. Whew. I might look a little groggy today. Oh, look at my thing's not lined up right, are we? There we go. It's a little bit better. I'm a little groggy. I actually just I just woke up, so I apologize if you know, I'm gonna be a little sleepy-headed today. I don't know. But yeah, that was some footage there with Hal there. After the show, got to say, you know, hi, have a little kind of like a little meet and greet, I guess. And so that was really cool. And he was waving at the camera, waving at you guys. So that's the title of the show. Hal Says Hi. He was saying hi to everybody. So just looking at the chats, I don't know if I've scrolled back far enough, but it looks like we got, oh, Mr. Spock. Oh, shoot, I haven't been practicing, but trying to get that down. Thanks for being here. We got Jackie, Fancy, got the old convoy going. There's Carrie C. saying hey. Hey, Carrie C. Fancy was Fancy the truck. Let's see, Jolie's here. All right, Jolie, thanks for being here. Bonnie Thompson, just saying hi to everybody. El Stinko Farce is here. Hey, El Stinko Farce. That's a great name. Thanks for being here. Let's see here. El Stinko Farce says, Happy Tuesday, sparklers. Let's see. Who else is here? We got Nick Rich, 56 is here. Says I missed the live stream the other night. Cool. Yeah, I didn't show the whole live stream. I just wanted to get the little thing where he was saying hi to you guys. You know. Terry Taylor's there. Hey, Terry Taylor. Let's see what else we got going. Let's see. I guess that's it for now. Oh, there's Tim Farrell. Tim Farrell's here. Hi, good to see you. Thank you all for being here. Now, I might get interrupted because I don't know if someone's going to come over because I'm just all over the place. Where do I start? Okay, the other day, I don't know if I talked about this before, but there was a leak in the shower, like coming from the above unit in the shower area, and it was leaking really bad. I mean, it was coming right through the ceiling, but there was no holes in the ceiling. Like it was just seeping through the ceiling, you know, but then it was coming down really, really hard, you know, because it was so much so I was laying in bed and I heard it and I was like, what is that? And I had to get out and investigate, and it was in there. So yeah, I called maintenance. And you know, it's just online, or I didn't call them. Yeah, it was online, and you fill out a little report or whatever, a little request for maintenance. You know, it's like it's hooked up to the office here, or whatever. So I just put down there's a leak in the ceiling above my shower or above my bathtub, coming from the upstairs unit. And that was like a couple days ago. And so anyhow, yesterday? They came. The maintenance guy came. Yeah, because it was Monday. So there was a maintenance guy that comes over, and he goes into there. I show him what's going on, tell him what's going on. So he went ahead and like cut a big kind of hole in the ceiling because he said, you know, you got to make sure that there's no water collecting in there, and you know, has to let it dry out or whatever. And then he said, but there's going to be some contractors coming to fix that hole. I was like, okay. So I don't know when. I haven't had any notice. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that there might be a knock on the door during this show here, during this live stream. And so I'm going to have to go and address that. Because I don't know when they're coming. He said it could be the next 1 to 2 days. So it could be today, it could be tomorrow. I would assume they would maybe give me some kind of notification, but I haven't heard anything yet, so. Let's see, where we at here? We got Arizona Sunflowers is here. Hello, everybody. Oh, man, so my shoulder is still hurting. I don't know what's going on with my shoulder. What the hell's going on? Let's see, what's good? I got a new gimbal. If you guys saw the video of me trying out the new gimbal, I'm gonna check that out. So I'm hoping once I figure out how to use that thing, I'll do some more walking around videos and stuff. You know, just to get a little variety, as they say. A little variety. Let's see what else has been going on. Really, I've just been kind of hanging out at the house, at the apartment here, just chilling. I don't know. I feel kind of weird this morning. I think what happened. I think maybe because I feel so groggy, is because last night before I went to bed, I still have a bunch of those like gummies, you know, they're left over from, remember, like way back, was it last summer or whatever, when did that driver appreciation day at one of the dispensaries, and then one of the things they gave me was those gummies, and I really haven't had any since around that time. But last night I came across, because I put them in a Ziploc bag, and they're kind of like all glued together, so I just sort of ripped off a little chunk of it, you know, and then I just went to sleep, and then I don't know, it put me out like I was out like a log, you know, and so now I think I might still be, maybe I'm high, I don't know, man. Because I feel really super groggy, and that's what seems like that's what that stuff does to me. Let's see. Everyone's saying hi. We got Alvin here. Oh, Alvin Stu. Hey, thanks for being here. Nick Rich plumbing problems. Call Boston Brian. Yeah, he'll just fly out to California. Ask says, when I rented. Hey, Ask, by the way, good to see you. When I rented, I had a shower that the wall shocked me. Oh wow, that's weird. Midas Kevin, sir, I guess. Midas Kevin Anderson. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for being here, Midas Kevin Anderson. Hey, Surrender Monkey. Make sure you leave the stream running just in case it's not maintenance knocking. It might be Trump's election fraud proof. Election fraud proof. You never know. You never know who's going to be knocking at the old door. Nick Rich says, yummy gummies. I don't know. I think I'm still fucked up, man. I don't know. I feel weird. Yeah, I'll drink lots of water. I didn't even have coffee this morning. Usually I have coffee. I didn't even feel like coffee. I had orange juice, because I love me some orange juice. Let's see. Make sure that's lined up right. Hey, there's Michael McAndrews. Hi, John. Glad you got over that spell of lightheadedness. From last week. Yeah, that was more than I was lightheaded, but that was more going on than that. And but yeah, I had something go through my system, but it went through pretty quick. Let's put it that way. About a day or so, a day and a half. And then I was back to normal pretty much. So, you know, those are the kind of little sicknesses that you don't mind, because that's only like a day or two. I hate the ones that linger on for 14 days or whatever, you know. Let's see, we got Reverend Popone is here. Popone. Hello all, and John, you are still high. Edibles last a long time. I think so. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I just thought I would, you know, I just saw it in the Ziploc baggie that I just, had been sitting in a shelf underneath the counter there. And I was like, maybe I'll just have to take one of these and then go to bed. And Yeah, it's weird. I'm not used to that kind of stuff, you know. Let's see. Arizona Flower says, hi, Surrender Monkey. Bunny Tom says, a microdose 10 milligram cut into 4 pieces a day so I don't get high. I don't get high. Whatever I got, it was like a chunk of the gummy. Like I said, they all kind of melted together. But it was probably about, I don't know, like that big. El Cinco first, edible hangover. You'll leave it out in a little while. I don't know. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm hungover, kind of like, but not drinking. You know. Minus touch. Minus Kevin Anderson says, Trucker, you know me. I watched Nerd Halen with you. Oh yeah, that's right. Of course, you were there, huh? Let's see. Robert Perpon. Howie Z's here. Hey, Howie Z, good to see you. Thanks for being here in the chat room. Arizona says, have an energy drink. I don't drink energy drinks. I don't drink energy drinks because I don't need all that extra energy. Michael McAndrews says, did you get the gimbal working okay? Well, I really haven't tried it since that disaster. I went ahead and plugged it back in and to make sure it was fully charged, because I thought it was charged before, but anyhow. And then I just tried to calibrate it. So it's been on the charger for a few hours, you know, I just let it go. And then so when I unplugged it, I put my phone onto it, clamped onto it, and did a calibration. So it was supposed to make it sort of sitting, you know, in a starting spot, you know. But then I didn't even. But it was already late at night and everything, or you know, it was dark at night, and I was in here, so I didn't even try it out. You know, I didn't even pick up and walk around with it. So I figured I'll do that sometime today. But yeah, I'll get that thing figured out eventually. How is he? 3-day gummy 11 out. I don't know. Hope not. Sir, Mike, do you sleepwalk? You might have been out licking things in the desert last night. As far as I know, I don't sleepwalk. No one's ever told me that. Like, you know, people will tell me that I snore. So that's how I know that I snore. No one's ever said, hey, I saw you walking around. Or 56 inches, I'm puffing a bowl right now. Jeannie's here. Hi, hello, Jeannie. Good to see you. Alvin Stube, hair of the dog, John. No, I'm not even going to try that. I probably should go make me some coffee, though. Robert Perpon says, when I eat 100 milligram edibles, I am messed up for 24 hours. I sleep 4 times in that 24 hours. Okay, well, I don't know how many milligrams that is. I don't know. That's how much I had, I guess. Let's see. Fancy says, hi, Robert. Michael McAndrews, cool, no hurry. And Arizona says, whoa, I feel like Pisces Greeter. Is Pisces Greeter here? Tell her, Teresa I said hi. Well, she can hear me, right? But I guess. I don't know what's going on, but there's an issue with that. I don't know. But sorry about that, Pisces Greeter. But if you're in here, thanks for being here. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hope you guys all give me likes, subscribe, shares, all that good stuff. MJ McDaniel. There I go again. MJ McDaniel. I'm back to my old ways. MJ Daniel is saying something like, oh, good morning, I guess. Let's see. Arizona Sunflower. Whoa, I feel like Pisces Greeter. Oh, yeah. Julie says, I don't like edibles. My daughter gave me one. She came home later, and every light in the house was on. I was snoring on the couch, glasses still on, woke up to pee, and was stumbling everywhere. So that's what's going on here. I'm going to be stumbling probably. Julie says, my daughter thought it was hilarious. 56 is your first name Teresa, Arizona Sunflower. No, I was talking about Pisces Greeter. That's anyhow. Uh, Francis says I haven't seen Pisces. Oh, okay. Well, someone brought Pisces Greeter's name up, so. There's just says no, it's actually Deborah or Debbie. Doc in Paradise, I don't understand why anyone would want to be drugged out of their mind. I hate that feeling of not being in control of myself. Yeah, I don't really like it either. Arizona Sunflowers, me either, Doc in Paradise. How is he? Doc, some people can't afford a vacation, laughing out loud. Surrender Monkey says, I'm a triple threat. I snore, sleepwalk, and sleep talk. My brother says I have night terrors as well. Of course I do. There's someone in my house watching me sleep. You're always being watched. By God. Terry Taylor says, Jolie, I've thought about trying them. Not sure now. Barney Thompson says, Swimmer Monkey, creepy. MJ Daniels says, I started smoking pot in the 70s when I was around 14, so it takes a bit more to get me really high these days. Yeah, that's about when I started smoking pot, but I didn't. The thing is, I didn't keep smoking. And it was just very occasional. I never was really like the wake and bake kind of dude or whatever, you know. Mine was always more just social settings, you know, parties and stuff like that, things of this nature. All right, so what else is going on? We had a fun time at the Nerd Halen concert, or you know, I guess you could call it a concert, but you know, they were in a lounge. They were like the lounge act, and so you know, show. I guess you could say show, yeah, whatever it was. But it was really cool. It was really you know, fun. That I wish I would have got there earlier because I wasn't sure when they were going to start it because it just said it would be after the Bret Michaels concert. And then, and I was thinking, okay, it's probably going to start till pretty late. But I guess Bret Michaels was over, or I don't think they were still playing when I was there. But anyhow, so I didn't get over there until after 10 o'clock. When I got there, I think they were doing their first set. They were like almost done with their first set. When I got there. But, and then, you know, they did 3 more sets after that, I think. So, you know, it's pretty much a full Nerd Halen show. Actually, even the third set, they started repeating songs. Let's see. What did I miss? Michael McAndrews says, me too, MJ. Howie Z says, I used to take Ambien. It's not safe to take around power tools. Oof, yeah. Arizona Sunflower says, that's what an old boyfriend always calls me. Still, I like it. Calls you, what, Debbie? Michael McAndrews says, I smoke to sit and then concentrate on programming. Otherwise, I couldn't do it. Sweater Monkey says, nah, he's fine. He doesn't have the internet, so stays playing the PS4. He's not really watching. Oh, okay. Robert Purple says, Sweater Monkey, when you sleep with your brother, you should have night terrors. I'm not loud. I'm joking. Nick Rich says, I've been smoking medical marijuana since 1972, self-prescribed. All right. Jolie says, I can smoke a cartridge or buds all day, but those edibles are entirely different. No thanks. I'm finding that out. MJ Daniels said, I think I'm just going to throw those damn things out. MJ Daniels says, I do not smoke much anymore, but back then I kind of went crazy. We were all pretty wild. Born to be wild. Michael McAndrews, Me Too MJ. Midas says we saw Hal's lady friend. Yeah, that was Summer at the end there. I don't know if you saw the opening, but I played that little footage of meeting Summer there. Mike Andrews says, except I still smoke a lot. I don't. Terry Taylor says, I tried a few times as a teenager, didn't like the way it made me feel. Paranoia, that's right, it's not a good feeling. My dad smoked it most of his life. Terry Taylor, that's how I describe it. When I would get high, that's one of the reasons I didn't like it, because it made me feel paranoid. Robert Propulse says, exactly, Jolie, there is something crazy with edibles. Oh, I shouldn't have had those. Swinner Mikey says, he's a very gentle lover, my ex said, Robert Propulse. Oh, I didn't read that in the English accent. So it threw me for a loop. Just skipping down, Michael McAndrews says, a friend gave me brownies for Xmas. I had to close all windows and doors and turn off the lights. He says, that's paranoia. He says, I need to move the cat's litter box. My eyes are burning. Oh boy. He says, dude dropped a hot one on me. Ugh. Talking Paradise says, you could just clean it. Arizona Sunflowers, haha, time to give Kitty some more water. He says, Doc, I have to burn it, laughing out loud. Hey, there's Vicky Accardi. Thanks for being here. Vicky Accardi says, hi, Sir John, do you understand what a valuable service you gave when you took the trucklers out to see Hal? Some people haven't done that since COVID. It was a blast and good for the soul. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was good for my soul too, because I was enjoying it, even though I had to contort myself into like a pretzel, one of those twisty kind of pretzel. But I had a good time. I enjoyed watching the band. I enjoyed watching the crowd. They were really so into it, Like I said, the people in that room and you guys that were watching, everyone was just digging it, And the playback, the sound, to me, it wasn't that great. You guys were telling me that the sound was good, and it was as good as it could get, But I wish the sound was better, because it doesn't really do justice to the band. So if you ever have a chance to see them, because sometimes they play some dates around the country or whatever, I suggest you go see them, because they're really, it's a good time band. It's a good time. They're playing good time music, Van Halen is like a good time rock band, And so it has the humor of Hal Sparks, and but great musicianship. Caleb Rappaport, who plays the lead guitar, is a maestro on that thing. The drummer's great, the bass player is great, Hal's great. So if you have an opportunity to see Nerd Halen, I highly suggest it. But yeah, so I'm glad I was able to do that. And I wasn't really going to do it. I wasn't sure. I always feel kind of funny, I guess, just live streaming and like that. And like, a lot of people had their phones out, and they were taping video, but taping, whatever, they were recording little snippets for their, their own keepsakes or whatever, But I don't think anyone else was live streaming. I'm pretty sure I was the only live streamer. And so I guess if people really aren't paying attention, that they might just think I'm just, shooting video or whatever. But it just seems, I guess I feel kind of, weird doing it. But then I was like, no, I'm going to do it, because, why not? So that's when I started live streaming. But I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. Like if I was just going to shoot some video and make a video of it You know, that was the original plan. Was just kind of go in, do it like a song, like one song, and then just post a video, and not a live stream. But then I was like, let's just see what happens, because I remember I live streamed them before when I saw them in concert last year, I guess it was, or a year ago. I think it was over a year ago, huh? When I saw them, yeah, just over a year ago, I think. And I know a lot of people came in and watched that and really enjoyed it. So I figured it would be fun for people to see it and check it out and see how long I could go. And I ended up going through the all the next 3 sets. But yeah, okay. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that, Vicky. El Single Fart says, I smoke regularly, but one puff too many gives me crazy anxiety. Ooh. So you got to just keep track of your puffs, I guess. Ichabod Deers here says, weed is wonderful, THC is best. I'm not sold on it. Arizona Sunflower says, yeah, me too. I was so happy to watch Hal and Company. Thank you, Trucker John. Oh, you're welcome. Very, very welcome. Jolie says, how easy? My doctor prescribed me some sort of sleeping pill once. It gave me sleep paralysis. It was scary in the moment, but later when I thought about it, it was sort of cool. Wow, sleep paralysis. That just sounds scary. Nick Rich says, cannabis should never have been criminalized in the first place. I agree with that. Jolie says, not cool enough to do it again, though. How easy? Laughing out loud. Ichabod Deer says, racism is why cannabis was criminalized. Yeah, I think I've heard that before. Ichabod Deer said, I saw VH on their 1984 tour 40 years ago. Wow. I saw them in 1983 at the S Festival. I've told that story about how I was almost like front row. I was like, because there's not really rows at the S Festival. It's just like people just standing, like all over the place. And but I always say it was like 10th row if there had been rows, But anyway, so yeah, I saw them there, and that was one of the highlights of my life. Let's see, Robert proposed, you need a screenshot of the lady in red's butt on your background. That's right. Yeah, so we got a little show from her. She was having a good time, she was having a good time. But it was funny how she would do these kind of like impulsive things, right? Because she was in front of me, and she's just kind of like dancing to the music, and she was shooting video, but man, and she was pretty much in her seat, or the whole time. But like I say, with what with what is it? Doc in Paradise who brought that up? But I don't know. Somehow it skipped down here. But anyhow, but when she did that, it was just like this. All of a sudden, she just like leapt up onto the top of the couch. I thought she was trying to get on the top of that couch, and literally, I thought she was going to jump onto the stage. But it was just like this impulsive thing. But then when she did that, she didn't quite land it, and that's when she kind of fell back or whatever. And then she just plopped back down on the couch and was like, okay, that ain't gonna work. And then later on, one of the other sets, I think, all of a sudden she gets up and she backs her rear end up to the stage, and then she kind of like fell. I don't know I guess she was trying to either, I don't know what she was trying to do. Show her butt to the band and to the Hal. And then she started backing up, and then she like kind of stumbled, and then and Hal, he was singing, and he sort of like, I think, grabbed her back or something, and then you could see where he was like he was off mic, but I could hear him go like, I got you, like it was kind of like he kind of saved her from really like hitting her head or something, I don't know, and then she gets up and comes back, runs back to the couch, and she's all embarrassed. But it was funny how she she seemed, you know, like I said, she's just kind of dancing and grooving and, you know, sitting on the couch. And all of a sudden she's like, boom, you know, like a tiger. It was funny. That was Robert that brought that up. And then Documentary says he didn't seem to mind you live streaming though, Trucker John. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. He said they were trying to set it up for sparklers. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think Hal had a problem. I just thought it just seems weird. Like all the people that are around you, they're like, you know, what are you doing? You know, or whatever. Or I don't want to be on your. You know, they kind of give you that eye, like stink eye kind of thing. And so, you know, I try not to just like focus in on people too much, but like when I was following Howell around, when he would do his, you know, crowd work, there's people that got on that, you know. So I don't know. People are kind of weird though. You know what I mean about that kind of stuff. Wicked Cardi says trucklers are so funny. Will they keep it going? Yeah. It was great having you guys in the chat. I wasn't watching the chat a whole lot because I was just I was watching the band and you know, and kind of making sure that I was, you know, not drifting off in the shot, you know, but let's see. Vicky Carter says, Kevin, yes, kimchi got everyone dancing. Oh, you guys were dancing? That's cool. Arizona Sunflower says, Jolie, did you see any aliens in your room? Ooh. How is he? I blame Nancy Reagan. For the criminalization, is that what we're talking about? Because I'm kind of in and out of some of these threads here. So, like I said, I liked how Hal was just genuinely nice having time for all the crafter, all the stories of him being lovely or true. Yeah, he was really cool, and really, like I said, I think I even said that in the video that he was just a genuine guy. You know, yeah, it was really cool. Very nice to meet Hal and everything. Ichabod Deer says, I paid $10 for that VH ticket 40 years ago. Yeah, I know. I wonder what I spent for the US Festival. Because that was a 3-day event, but I actually only paid for 1 day, and then I snuck in on the day for Van Halen. Because I had a ticket for the next day, which was the last day. And I don't remember what I paid for it, but yeah, it was probably like, you know, $15 or something. I really don't even remember. Ash says, I talked to Dare, the thesis writer, 20 years later. He said it did not war. I'm just going to skip on down, try to get caught up here. Dr. Paradise says, it was funny seeing Hal's demeanor change from, who's this random stranger, to, hey, Trucker John. Yeah, that was a funny, and I'm glad he kind of, you know, recognized my name. Pretty sure, you know. Michael Andrews, Hal is the best. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Michael Andrews says John is best too. Apparently Pisces Greeter is here. Jackie is saying hi to Pisces Greeter. So we still haven't solved that issue. I don't know if we ever will, because I don't know what to do. Tara Taylor says, I watched a little bit of your Hal's live stream. Hal is just living his dream, seems like. He's quite the performer. Yeah, and they're just really fun to watch, you know. Minus, I think she was drunk. Yeah, a little bit. Hey, there's Pisces Greeter. Hey, Pisces Greeter. I see you. I don't know what happened. It says, Pisces says, everyone, my daughter checked if I blocked Trucker John. She said she saw no blocked at all. Checking a few times. Sorry, Trucker John. Maybe It's YouTube. I can see you. I don't know what you did, but don't touch anything. I don't know what happened, but I'm glad to see you back. Arizona Sunflower. Maybe she's an impulsive woman. Yeah, that's the kind of feeling I got. Oh, the other day, I think one of my passengers kissed me on the shoulder. I'm pretty sure I got a kiss on the shoulder. I picked up these. It was on St. Patrick's Day night, and I picked up these folks. It was like 2 girls and a guy. I think the guy and one of the girls was married, and then there was another girl. And when I say girl, these are women about 30 or in their 30s. Well, about right around 30 probably. Late, could have been late 20s. Or when you're my age, everyone looks young. So I don't know, late 20s, early 30s. And they were, they you could tell they'd been out partying a little bit, and they were just having a good time, but they weren't, too bad. And so, yeah, we're having a good conversation. We're just talking about stuff, and I don't know. They seemed to like the music I was playing, and they were like singing along. It was like sort of like rock songs and stuff. And then, they kept asking me because they were going to this other bar, and they kept asking me if I wanted to go party with them at the bar, And I was actually a little tempted, but I just like, no, I got to work, And they're like, oh, you come on. So they're trying to get me to go to their party, and then I don't know. They're just talking about all kinds of stuff, being funny, and the one girl, she I don't know what she was taking. I thought she was just taking an aspirin or something, but now that I think about it, maybe I don't know if she was dropping something, but she said something like, I need. Or she was like, like something that I thought she needed some water or something. And I go, I got water, and then she was like, oh really? So I give her the water, and she's like all happy, And then I don't know. She was just like saying, I love this guy. I love this guy. You know how like a happy drunk is, And then, I get to the place, to the bar, and they're about to get out. And then she's like, as she's getting out, she's like, kind of grabbed my arm a little bit. And then I'm just like turning, like saying, I always say, hey, have a good night, everybody. Or, have a good one, have a good time. So I turn like this. And I almost thought she was going to like kiss me on the cheek or something. And then last second, she was like, she was right at the stage of inebriation where it's like, do I try to, not break boundaries or whatever, or do I just say, or am I at that stage where like I don't give a fuck? She was kind of like between those stages, and then I'm pretty sure she as she was pulling away, that she like kissed me on the shoulder, and she's like, I love you, or something like that. It was funny. It was kind of funny, and they're like, come on, man. They were still trying to talk me into going into the bar with them, and I was like, I gotta go. So that happened, but they were just out good. They were just out like having fun. They were just like having a good time for St. Patty's Day. Nick Rich says no purple beard when you met Hal. No, I did not have the purple beard. Purple Paul was not there. But yeah, Pisces greeter, I can see ya. So I guess we got that somehow, some way. Maybe it was a YouTube thing, like you said. I don't know what the heck it was, but I'm afraid to touch anything. I'm like, oh, what are. But anyhow, Dog in Paradise says, Arizona Sunflowers, I could never do it. I have to type out all the names. I think on PC, you can't just copy and paste names. I don't know. Edward Cooley says, I was looking for Hal Sparks show. Well, I believe he's off today. He was off yesterday for travel day. He's off today. This is his normal time off. I'm not sure if he's going to be on in the afternoon or not. I'm not sure. But I believe he's off today, right? Michael McAndre, trucker helped save my life one time when I was 15. That's cool. Jolie says, John from Teresa, everyone my daughter checked. I already read that. I'm really behind in the chat. So hopefully by now everyone knows that I can see Pisces Greeter. Michael McAndrews says, YouTube, Hal Sparks. I watch him live when I can. It is a badass critic. But yeah, we're here. So we're here. Let's see, is this a new person, I think. Edward Cooley. I believe you're new here. So yeah, what we do is, usually when Hal's off, have a space just to come and hang out, you know. Hey, there's Spicy Grader. Thank you, Trucker John. Hi. So you guys can see me. I can see you. We're all good. We're all good. Jeff Burst says, "Hey, John. Hey, Jeff. How you doing?" Tara Taylor says, "Oh yeah, great. John sees Pisces now." Yeah, I don't know what that. There's a sunflowers. Was it a female? I don't know what that was about. Jeff Boers, thanks for Nerd Halen show video. Been wanting to see more of them. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Pisces Greer says, great to hear. Trucker John, glad you can see me now. So sorry you couldn't before. Go figure, huh? Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's just really, really weird. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Arizona Sunflower says, wash your mouth out with soap. We are nothing MAGA except not liking them. Okay, I've been skipping down, so I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Did someone compare us to MAGA? And no MAGA here. No MAGA here. As far as we know, I don't know. Where's Wes? No. Let's see. Jolie says, Edward Cooley, welcome to the truck stop. Thanks for being here. Absolutely. Make sure you hit that like button for me and subscribe and share. That'd be awesome if you could do that. Arizona says, I'm on an iPad, so I know your pain. Yeah, I'm on an iPad and an iPhone. How is he? Says how is he? Arizona Sunflower says he's not usually on Tuesdays, but he does surprise us sometimes. Yeah, you always got to be on the lookout because you just never know. Big Hook says, happy go love you, drunky fan. Yeah, happy. There you go, Big Hook. It was kind of cute, you know. I was scrolling back for something. I think that edible is still fucking me up because I can't remember shit. Plus, I'm old. Anyhow, I was going to look something up or address something, and I've skipped over it. All the messages, not top messages. Yeah. We've done all that. Duncan Paradise House said on Saturday he'd be on this afternoon. Yeah, I think he usually is on Tuesday afternoons unless it's a show day where he does which is that like the first Tuesday of every month or whatever, I don't know, but yeah. So I think he's going to be on today at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Let's see here. Everyone's saying hi to Big Hook. The Big Hook. Arizona Sunflowers, you come after Hal. Minus Kevin Anderson. Elton, Trucker John, a trucker saved my life tonight. Someone saved my life tonight. Wendy S. says, hi from Canada. Thanks for the video concert. And thanks for the Hal update on his shows. I didn't know if he was on or off today. I don't either. I don't know much either. I mean, I know he's on. I'm pretty sure he's not on now. He usually takes the Tuesday morning off. As far as I know, he's going to be on this afternoon at 3 p.m., I believe. But don't quote me on that. Surrender Monkey says, I think he's on tonight because I drunkenly remember him saying just Monday and maybe Thursday. I was very drunk. Ba-da-bum. Let's see. We got Bonjour, Francis, says Big Hook, Big Hook. Lots of greetings going on in the chat, you know, all that kind of good stuff. Eileen, California, is it? I don't know. Or is it Eileen Ka? First time here, sir? Hello. Well, hello. Thanks for coming by. Good to see you. I hope you hit that like, subscribe, and share. All three of those things would be nice. Hopefully you're still in the chat. I'm not sure how far behind I am in this chat, but hopefully you're still here. And good to see you. Michael McAndrews slowed up for a sec, a glitch. That's probably a phone call I had coming in. It will, I'll just hit decline. I don't know why my calls are coming in right now anyhow, but I think that was from the phone call. Big Hook says, you made a lot of new friends join your live stream. I appreciate your efforts. Your efforts. Well, that was a benefit that I really wasn't thinking about. I just thought, oh, I'm going to do this show, see how many people like it. And it was kind of, you know, because I didn't really do any announcements or, you know, send out any notifications or anything. And so at first there was only, well, it took a while to get even a couple people in there. It was kind of a slow thing, you know. And then within a few minutes, there was like 2 or 3 people, I guess. And then it just slowly kept building up. Finally, after about half an hour or so, it went from about 7 or 8 people to where it just steadily climbed up to about 40. I think we only had about maybe 40. I think it was the most, I think, that I saw. But it's like once we got to that 40, you guys all stuck in there like pretty much the whole time. It didn't go down. I don't think it went down. Once it got to 40, it stayed right there almost the whole time. So I know you guys were digging it. It's one thing to have like where you just go in and you're like, oh, this sucks, kind of like today's show, and then you know you leave. But for that, I think you guys were all in there the whole way. Hey, Liberal Dan's here, I guess. Did I skip Liberal Dan? Liberal Dan? Or is he pulling a Pisces greeter on me? Well, anyhow, if Liberal Dan is here... Oh, there he is. Okay. Hello, Liberal Dan. Which reminds me of the Christina Hendricks story. Perhaps I should tell it. Liberal Dan says, hey, Trucker John. Arizona Sunflowers, I need my coffee in the mornings to wake up and get muscles moving. I know I didn't have coffee this morning. Jolie says, minus Kevin Anderson, too funny. So I kind of been missing minus Kevin's stuff. Maybe it says like, I like when I blurted out Jolie is here and Kimchi is here. I'm in heaven. Then Sharon Thompson goes, what am I, chopped liver? I almost cracked up. I missed that exchange. So anyhow, where are we at? Well, I'm glad you looked around. And then later on it says, and found Trucker John. Wendy S. says, yep, slapped me the thumbs up and subscribed on the way in. Oh, awesome. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that a lot. Surrender Monkey says, would that be your contractors trying to make an appointment? Oh, yeah. I don't think it was, but that's funny though. That's very astute of you. It does say transmission is unstable due to a weak network connection. So I don't know. Hopefully we're still transmitting. Liberal Dan, I'm here. Michael McAndrews. Also, I do micro Atmel 8-bit CPU stuff and metalwork and woodwork and maintenance and electrical and plaster and stuff. Okay, so I'm skipping down. Alvin Stube had a message retracted. I missed it. Terry Taylor says hi to everyone I haven't said hi to yet. Michael McAndrews making a Windows G-code interpreter viewer program. Jolie says, hey, Trucker John now has memberships and super chats. Yeah, we do have all that good stuff. We're almost at 4,000 hours of viewing time, by the way. Robert Perpont, I am glad it's not just me. I thought you were shooting this live stream with a potato. Is it going bad again? Okay, well, I don't know. The background is blurry, by the way. That's a blurry photo I use, but I just, chose that one. Let's see. All right, so Big Hook says, do you watch shows a lot in Vegas, Sean? I do not. I haven't seen any shows. I mean, I'm trying to think. The last show I went to was probably 20 years ago or something. I think it was one of the first Cirque shows. Fancy says, looks good to me. Oh, there's those sunflowers. Thank you so much. We got a super chat, I guess, or whatever it's called. What does it say? Critical hit? There you go. Thank you so much, Arizona Sunflowers. That's pretty awesome. Arizona Sunflowers looks like a postcard I have. Oh, yeah. The Vegas sign. Wendy S. says, Canadians are pretty sweet by nature. I'll go along with that. Vicky Accardi, Liberal Dan, enjoyed your interview with Hal. You two know a lot. And Eileen Ka says, are you actually in Vegas, Trucker John? I am. I am actually in Las Vegas. I've lived here for about 4 years now. But I really didn't start living here until about a year ago, or a little over a year ago. Jolie says, yay, thanks so much, Arizona Sunflowers. Yes, thank you so much. Arizona for a coffee truck. I know, I need my coffee. I need the coffee. And look at there, Michael McAndrews, $20. No way, dude. I'm starting to lose my voice. Well, that's pretty fucking awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for all you guys help grow the channel. I just bought a new gimbal, thanks to you guys. I bought a gimbal, which for those of you who don't know what it is, that's basically it's supposed to make your videos more steady when you're walking. That's like a steady cam. And we'll see if I get it figured out. I still haven't really figured it out yet. It's harder than I thought. I didn't know it was so complicated. But thank you guys for your support. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share button. Let's get the thing shared up. We're up to 1,590 subscriptions. Let's get that number up to 1 million. We're trying to get to 1 million, basically. Eileen is saying, California. I know. I figured it was California. But, it's kind of funny. Eileen Ka. I guess I could call you Eileen Cali. No. Eileen, California. I'm born and raised in California. Lived the first 59 years of my life in California. And I love California still, just so you know. Big Hook says, we Canadians, are dipped in maple syrup. Well, that's why you're so sweet, huh? Fancy, Hollywood, California. Is that where you're from, Fancy? Woody S says, wow, at Michael McAndrews, who says it's fun. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks. It's pretty awesome. We do appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's see here. We got Tara Taylor says, why Las Vegas, John? Do you like living there? I do like living here. Well, the whole thing about coming here, I've told this story before, but It had to do with trucking. It had to do with it's a complicated story, kind of. I don't know, but just the bare nuts and bolts of that story, I guess, is that, I was an independent contractor. So I had leased this truck, and then I refinanced it, and I bought the truck. So at the time, when this law was going through in California, it was called AB5 at the time. And what it did was it made it that if you were an independent contractor and you were contracting with a company that did the same line of work that you are doing, then you can't do that in the state of California. Which I still don't understand. I think it's really stupid. Anyhow, I had about 3 payments to go on that truck. And I didn't want to jeopardize losing that truck, going like 8 years to pay it. Well, it wasn't 8 years. It was 5 years to pay it off. And everything. And then somehow not be able to contract with Schneider. And then there would be this transition period where I wouldn't make my payments or something. Or, that's what I was afraid of. So I just went ahead, and I was lucky that I found this guy, another Schneider driver, that that lived here, and I was able to like rent a room with him. My CDL. To do that, and then in order to keep my contract with Schneider. And so that's why I moved my address and everything to Nevada. And then eventually I just moved, I have, last year, about a year ago, that's when my truck, going back to the truck, was now 8 years old, and it was on its last legs, and it was going to take a lot of money to get it going again. So I just decided to park it, and I decided to drive for Uber. And so that whole time, now it's been a little over a year, probably, like 13 months. I pretty much made this, Nevada or Las Vegas my full-time residence. And I like it. And I grew up 2.5 hours from here. That's where I grew up. And so this is not like a real stretch or a reach or whatever to move here. This is very natural to me. We've been coming up to Vegas since I was a little kid. Since the 60s, I've been coming up here. I've been coming up to this sign. I can remember when this sign was just a sign, just a little metal sign. It wasn't all fancy and lit up. It was just made out of metal. And it was in this approximate same location, but there wasn't this big island. They made this whole big island, a big parking area in the middle of the road, because way back when it was still a metal sign, before it was all lit up and everything, people still, they said, "Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas," or whatever. And it became a spot where you would park on the side of the road and go take a picture at the sign. And it was starting to get to become such a kind of a safety hazard. But they also recognized that this is a great, kind of marketing tool to have this here, and people are taking pictures of it, and then they go home and they show everyone their pictures. And now, of course, everyone puts everything online. But this is back even before, the internet. So they eventually, made this big parking lot thing. And of course, it's a big, fancy, neon light. It's like, it's just opposite. Everything's opposite here. Yeah, so, but anyhow, I can remember the old origins of this, when it was just kind of and I think it was in the middle. I think it was always in the middle, but there was no really median. There was just a small median, and the sign was there. And so anybody who wanted to park and take a picture, they would park on the shoulder of the road, and they have to walk across the road. It's kind of a busy road, so they changed it all around. But I can remember when it was all different. So yeah, point is, I'm used to this climate, this topography, whatever. It's all the same as where I grew up, and it's not any different really than Palmdale, Lancaster, which is, another 60 miles, 60, 70 miles east of where I grew up, So yeah, I'm used to the desert, and this doesn't seem like this Las Vegas. To me, it just seems like California, but don't tell that to the people who are from here because they are weird. Robert Perez says, top of the morning to you, Sparky John. Love the show. Keep it up, Trevor. Sorry, I can't spin you some cabbage. Hey, no. Hey, that's cool, man. Whatever you can do. Like, just being here, thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, share the show. Those are great things. Those are awesome things, too. So, don't ever feel like, bad because if you can contribute monetarily or anything like that. Just being here is a great thing, and getting us in the algorithm, and the share button is really important too. Arizona Sunflower says, we couldn't afford a house there now, so moved to Arizona. All my relatives are in Cali, but renting. I didn't want to rent anymore. Yeah, that's true. It's although you probably could have moved to Palmdale or Lancaster, or even Apple Valley. It would be cheaper than anywhere. The closer you get to LA or the coast, it gets really expensive. Nick Rich says, I gotta exit the truck stop, folks. Till next time. Well, glad you're here. Thanks for coming by, Rich. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Oh, okay. Liberdan says, where does Christina Hendricks come in? I know. I forgot. I got to tell that story because I don't know how much time Dan has. If he has to go back or not. Hopefully you haven't left. I know I'm really behind in the chat here. So maybe, I think I'm kind of pretty much caught up. Fancy says, I've been to the Wiltern so many times, especially when it was just a movie theater. I remember the Wiltern right there in Wilshire, right? That's like the Wilshire. I was in this is probably in around 85. No, it was earlier than that. No, it was like probably 82, 83. I worked for this carpet company installing carpet, and we were in this sort of high-rise apartment building. It was like fancy kind of, they were like, I don't know if you call them townhomes or whatever, but it was in like a high-rise building, and we were redoing the carpet, and it was pretty much, I'm pretty sure we could see the Wiltern right there. It was like really close. And I think that's when they were first kind of getting it back to its old glory or something, or, making it into the Wiltern Theater. Because I think that's when they were doing a bunch of work, and that it became, because that previous to that, I don't think they were doing like concerts and stuff. But then when they did whatever they were doing, that's when they were, I guess, rehabbing it and changing it to like this concert venue. I think that was around, I don't know, 83 probably. 83, 84, something like that. Eileen, California says that fancy. Yes, it was a Pacific Theater. I remember his uniform. I wouldn't drive in from Inglewood to pick him up at 1 a.m. We'd walk down to the local diner, have breakfast, home, and I'd go to work at 8 a.m. Wow. Liberdan, I'm here waiting patiently to hear about Goddess Christina. All right, I'm going to talk about Christina. Okay, so let's see, Terry Taylor says, that's great. You're happy here, John. Moving so stressful, but it's a familiar place. The transit is much easier. We've moved a lot, but been in Maryland the longest. Oh yeah, Maryland. I've been there. Island, California, such a small world. Vicky Cardi, I love Trucker John's side trips. And when he has Liberdan, she's amazing. Loved her in Mad Men. Okay, so let me talk about Christina Hendricks. And actually, I'm going to be talking about Molly Ringwald first. Okay, so this is back in 2001. I had been doing a bunch of background work, right? And I was on this string of one project would kind of lead to another, to another, to another. They seemed to be somehow, well, they weren't really connected, but I would see a lot of the same people on all these jobs, like other background extras mainly. And sometimes, though, crew. So I had done Planet of the Apes. I was a gorilla in Planet of the Apes, and then from there I did the WWE commercial, where I was one of the people cheering in the stands, and then I did. So I did some things. I don't know. I forget, but then from there I did Jim Carrey movie, The Majestic. And that was set in the, I guess it's supposed to be like the 50s, earlier to mid 50s, I think. It was supposed to be like 10 years after World War II or something like that. And I was in that movie, and so I had my hair was cut short. It was cut to like a 1940s style haircut, and then from there I did this TV movie called The Big Time. And that was set in the 30s, I think. And then if it's a period piece like that, then, you know, they want to make sure the hairstyles are right and everything else. So they even cut it. And I told the guy, I was just doing The Majestic and they cut my hair for that. It was, and he goes, yeah, well, we're even going back further than in time. And so this is, you know, so yeah, they cut my hair even more. But, you know, so this movie it was made for TV. It was called The Big Time, and it was basically starring Molly Ringwald. I think she produced it too and everything, and it had Christopher Lloyd in it. I spoke with Christopher Lloyd at the craft services table. He was funny. We had a funny little interaction. Do you guys remember what's his name? His name is Dylan something. The actor. I don't know. Did you guys see that Nazi Hunters show with Pacino and stuff? One of the main kind of bad guy, German Nazi, which really isn't too far from the truth today, I guess. But I mean, he was like an actual Nazi, I guess. And then, so if you saw that guy, you know, that guy was in it, and we had a few times where because sometimes you're in they're shooting a scene, and then they call cut, and then they're like tell everyone back to one. That means back to your starting position, and then they'll just like, okay, hold there, and then they were shooting a lot of this stuff with the Steadicam, speaking of Steadicams, and they were really still trying to block out a lot of these shots. So a lot of times you would stand there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes or something, just holding in place while they're working on camera angles and camera moves with a Steadicam, you know. So anyhow, so that Dylan guy, I can't remember his name, but he's been in a lot of stuff. One time we were just standing together and he's like, hey, so how's it going? I'm like, hey, pretty good. How you doing? You know, that type of thing. And then there was this one scene. So, and I knew that this was a Molly Ringwald production, right? And that she was starring in it. So I'm in this one scene where there's like an elevator, and she comes out of the elevator, and then there's the male actor coming from the other end, and they kind of meet in this sort of hallway or out in front of the elevator, in front of a reception office type of thing, reception desk, you know. And then they have dialogue. And so that was the scene that they were shooting that. They did a couple takes on it, and then they were like, okay, cut, everyone hold. So then we had to just stand in our positions, and that's when they were trying to get that Steadicam to work or something, or they were trying to nail down this shot, how they were gonna, because it was supposed to be like this really busy place, it was a new like TV station. This is like when TV stations were just barely in existence, and they were just, so it was supposed to be this like the buzz of the room and of the office of them really, you know, getting this show together, getting this little channel together. So anyway, she comes out of the elevator, and I'm thinking, this is Molly Ringwald. Boy, I haven't seen Molly Ringwald in a while and do anything, you know, since, you know, all those Brat Pack movies or whatever. And so we're just standing there, and then and And the thing is, they always tell us extras don't bring any. Dylan Baker, yes, Dylan Baker, that was the guy. Thank you, Eileen. And they always tell us don't bring cameras, no cameras allowed. And this is really before you had them on your phone, but they were really crappy. They weren't good cameras like now. So a lot of people would bring on those little disposable cameras, and I had a little digital camera that was about this big, and I like to bring them because I like to take pictures and stuff. But they're always telling you don't take pictures of the stars, don't take pictures of don't even look, don't interact with any of the talent, they would call it, or the actors. Don't even look there. It was like, it was almost like they're monkeys, like don't look them in the eye because they'll fight you or whatever. But anyhow, so you're kind of living under that, those rules of not interacting with the actors, not taking photos of them, all that kind of stuff. Don't, in other words, be there to do the job, and don't be there to be like a fan where you're just trying to get selfies or whatever. So anyhow, we're just standing there and kind of like 6 feet apart from each other, waiting for them to do the shot. We're just like do, and then all of a sudden she just whips. She had like a period piece. That doesn't sound like, but like her costume, her clothing was like from the 30s, like kind of like a big fluffy dress or whatever. But she had like a little pocket in there or something, because all of a sudden she whips out this camera, a little digital camera, and she says, "Hey, can you take a picture of me?" And it was this other co-star, I forget his name, a young guy, and of us together or whatever. I was like, "Oh, sure." So they did one together, and I took a picture, and I took a couple of them. She's like, "Oh, thank you." And then I'm thinking, damn it, how stupid of me, because it was kind of like the moment passed. But I'm pretty sure in that moment, if I had said, "Hey, can I take a picture?" Because I had a camera, If I would have whipped out my camera and said, "Hey, can I get a picture of it?" But I didn't, because those rules are in my head, like don't ask them. But in retrospect, it's like, hey, she broke the rule, and she's the producer of the movie, Molly Ringwald. So she's not gonna, after I had taken pictures for her, she's not gonna like rat me out, or whatever. Okay, so I took these pictures, and for years and years and years, I'm telling the story of how I took a picture for Molly Ringwald. Okay, so some years later, I finally was able to watch the show, because I think they do show it on YouTube. It's called The Big Time. And I was watching the movie, and then I was like, wait a minute. That's not Molly Ringwald. Molly Ringwald was this other character. It was like playing like a bleached blonde. But the redhead that I thought was Molly Ringwald, that was Christina Hendricks. So all this time, I had been telling the story about how I had taken a picture with Molly Ringwald, when in fact it was a very young. I think it might have been one of the first things she's ever did. As far as like, acting for TV or movies or whatever. So I didn't even know who she was. I just thought that was Molly Ringwald because she had this red hair, and I'm thinking of Molly Ringwald from like Pretty in Pink or whatever. And 16 Candles or whatever. And so then when you think about it, you're like, she doesn't really look like Molly Ringwald, but I'm just thinking like, that's her with the red hair, and she's, a little older or whatever. But it was Christina Hendricks that said, "Hey, would you mind taking a picture of me and what's his face?" So I'm sorry, Dan, that's my Christina Hendricks story. Not quite the punch, maybe, but that's it. Eileen is Truckers on background actor. Well, I did quite a bit back in the early 2000s and even some of the mid 2000s. I did some background. So let's see. I'm really behind on the chat now. Arizona Summer says yes, and it was free to watch any of about 8 channels. Michael McAndrews, I can see John having to just stand there laughing out loud. Arizona Sunflowers, don't look at the stars. Yeah, they had these rules, you know. That was from Central Casting. That was their rules. Because they don't want to send people over and then... They want you to be professional. You know, they don't want you to be going over there like, oh, look at this. Look at this star. Look at that star. You know. Arizona Sunny, she's pretty too. Yes. Christina Hendricks is gorgeous. Mr. Spock, yeah, Breakfast Club, right. Michael Branch laughing out loud. Wendy S. 2 beautiful gingers. Yeah. And so anyhow, that was my Christina Hendricks story. But the funny thing, I guess the funny thing for me is that for years and years and years and years, I just thought that was Molly Ringwald. Because I didn't see the movie when it originally aired. I think it was like on TBS or something. I don't know. It was like one of those cable networks. And I never did watch them. And in those days, like if you didn't want to see the original airing, you know, I mean, that wasn't really, maybe it became available on VHS or probably, it was probably on, you know, CDs or whatever by then, but I just never saw it until, it might have been like 10 years later where I was finally able to watch the movie. And I think even longer. I think I just found out about this a couple years ago, or I just realized it. Where I was watching the show, that movie. It was a TV movie. It was actually like a pilot. I think they wanted to make a series out of it. But I guess it didn't go over too well because they never made this series. But so yeah, I finally watched it and I was like, wait a minute. Because there were other scenes, and because when I was filming, I was just in a few scenes there, and I didn't really know all the story. But when you see the movie, you're like, wait a minute, I'm like, wait, the bleach blonde, that's Molly Ringwald, because she was playing like this bleach blonde with kind of this funny, like, kind of New York accent. And then I was watching the redhead, who I thought was Molly Ringwald, and then I'm just watching, I'm going, oh my God, that's Christina Hendricks from Mad Men, you know? It was kind of hard to tell because she was so young. But for all these years, probably like 15 years, I just thought that was Molly Ringwald. That was my Molly Ringwald story. I was like, hey, I took a picture of Molly Ringwald for her. It's not like I was like, you know, sneaking pictures. And it was Christina Hendricks. Big Hook says, anyone watch Rachel Maddow last night? The Russians are coming back big time to interfere in our elections and are threatening European countries. So sick of Russia. I really am. Liberal Dan says, I once told someone that chances of something happening was about as likely as the chances of Christina Hendricks and Anne Hathaway agreeing to a threesome and my wife saying it okay to it. Yeah. Pretty unlikely, I guess. Wendy S. says, what was it called again? The Big Time. And I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube for free. Well, you know, they have like free movies. Arizona Sunflowers, they actually get lookalikes these days for a lot of people. And most people buy it, like the crazy lady on the plane who was getting off due to a strange alien guy. Huh? I didn't hear that one. Liberal Dan says, I then told my wife, who said, if Christina Hendricks and Anne Hathaway gonna be laughing out. Michael McAndrews says, I remember in the 80s people talking about interactive TV. This is it. Eileen, California. What is the Big Time movie rush? Is it another in the series YouTube only. No, I don't think that says it's the big time. Maybe if you put like the big time Molly Ringwald, maybe it'll show up. But YouTube is like the only place I could find it. Because TBS ain't playing it. This is an old movie now. This is an over 20-year-old movie now. This is like 23-year-old movie now. But I have it pop up on my YouTube feed. Just the other day it popped up again. I'm like, oh, there's the big time. And the thing about it is, I don't know how this happens. I don't know how it happens. But literally, I'm in these scenes where I'm right next to the actors, practically brushing shoulders. And then I go to watch the movie and I can't see me. Like in this big time, I can't. I think there was one scene where I thought I could see myself like way in the background, like pushing a cart or something. Because that was kind of my job, was pushing carts. They like little carts that had like tapes on them because they were like a TV show, and then they did. And I guess I was taking the film to the film room or something. I guess that was my role, my big role. Eileen says yes, and she terrified me. I don't know what that was. Fancy says Trump hired Manafort again for his campaign. He is trying to get the Russian money again. So desperate. Isn't he just so desperate? Michael McAndrews, Trump belongs in jail. I agree. Mr. Spock says, I'm never starstruck standing next to 3 of the Canadian Air Force troop at the Toronto airport. I ignored them till I needed a quarter for the phone, so I bummed off John Abbott, laughing out loud. That's just Canadian. That's just way too Canadian for me, sorry. Arizona Sunflowers, remember anyone? I kind of skipped down on the thread, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. Fancy says, I've met so many stars living here my whole life. They are just people. Yeah, they are. I've had the pleasure of being able to, just do the sort of small talk, but they seem, a lot of them seem pretty nice. Jackie says, Arizona, I saw it. Eileen, California says, okay, thanks. Wendy S says, are you Canadian too, Mr. Spock? Sounds like it. Arizona Sunflower says, she was screaming, I'm getting off. I don't know about you people. That guy is not human. I didn't hear about that. Mr. Spock, Rogers Abbott. Not familiar. Big Hook, the Big Hook says, Canadian royalty from the CBC radio era, Mr. Spock. Arizona Sunflower says, later they brought a lookalike, and she said she was going to tell the whole story later, and she was not the same woman. Wow, I didn't hear anything about that. Mr. Spock, yep, a blue noser. Mr. Spock says, Big Bobby Clobber. I'm laughing my ass off. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with this troop you speak of. Man, I am so cotton-mouthed that I've gone through 2 bottles of water. And I feel like I'm going to need more. I'm so thirsty. Arizona Sunflower says, I saw Lucy in Hollywood with my grandparents. Lucia Ball, that is. That's who I thought you were talking about when you said Lucy. The only Lucy is really would come to mind is either Lucille Ball or Charlie Brown's sister, who keeps yanking that ball away at the last second, like naughty little girl she is. Let's see. Mr. Spock says, wow. Big Hook says, remember the Trudeau Stud Farm skit? No, I did not. No. I'm not from Canada. Island California says you need coffee. I do. I think I do. I feel like I'm like, ugh. When he says, so an Easterner, Mr. Spock, I could go get the coffee if you guys want me to. If you want to chat amongst yourselves, I could go make me a coffee. Michael McAndrews says, I met Michael Landon when he was skiing one time, and a couple other actors. I was on the ski lift with what was that guy's name? Peter. What's his name? He was the guy from Mission Impossible, the original Mission Impossible, the blonde guy. He was the main dude, right? He's James Arness's brother who played Matt Dillon in Gunsmoke. But his name isn't Arness, I don't think. Is it Peter Arness? No. Because James Arness was Matt Dillon. His brother, Peter, was the guy in Mission Impossible. And I was on a ski lift up at Big Bear Summit in Big Bear. This was probably, I guess it was the 80s. Was it 80s? I forget now. I don't think it was the 70s. I think it was the 80s. I don't know, some time back there. And we were on the ski lift together, and I kind of looking over, and I'm like, oh, I think that's Peter, what's his face? Peter Graves. There you go. Thank you, chat. You guys are awesome. Peter Graves. And so we were at the very bottom of the hill when we were going to the very top. So it was a long ride, you know. And so I kind of look over, and then finally I'm like, hey, aren't you Peter Graves? And he's like, yeah. I go, oh, awesome, man. I go, I used to watch Mission Impossible all the time, you know. And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh, thank you. You know, people are pretty gracious, you know. I'm always in this kind of like, it's always that like Chris Farley moment, you know, like when he did that skit of like meeting Paul McCartney, and that's what always reminds me of, because like here I am, I'm Peter Graves, so I'm like, yeah, so that was cool, man. That was awesome, you know. And I kind of did the same thing with Paul Giamatti. We had the rap party for Planet of the Apes, and Giamatti was in that movie. I don't know if you remember that or not, but he was one of the orangutans, you know. And I believe, you know, and so anyway, he was at the rap party, and they had a big rap party up there in Ridgecrest, because they filmed most of it out there. And at this rap party, you know, Tim Burton was there, and his girlfriend and his future, I think, wife at the same time. It was weird. And then Wahlberg was there. The whole cast was there. The blonde girl who played the blonde girl was there. And Giamatti was there. But we were all there. It was a kind of a huge bar where they did karaoke, and they had like a big, huge room for, you know, I guess dancing or whatever. And they had a bar in there. Then they had another bar. It was another bar in another section. They had a pool room, and in this room they also had a pool table. So I remember we were at the bar, and then Giamatti comes up like next to me, and then we just start talking. And I was just like, I'm like, hey man, I go, I was listening to your character, man. It was so funny. Because you really can't hear when they were filming a lot of stuff. I mean, unless you were like right there next to him. And there was this one scene where Giamatti was he's kind of playing this, you know, those orangutans. And if you know the Planet of the Apes, they're kind of smart, but they're kind of funny too, you know. And Giamatti was just kind of riffing and kind of ad-libbing, and they were doing lots of takes trying to get this one thing for it. I remember at the time it was really funny, and making sure not to laugh, you know, so they didn't pick it up on their mics or whatever. And so anyway, I told Giamatti about that, and he was like, "Oh man, thanks." You know, yeah. He's like, "Yeah, man, I've had a ball. It's been real fun, you know, playing this and being part of this production, you know." And then I was just like, it kind of had this awkward silence, you know, because I felt like, okay, now what do I say, you know? And then I was like, well, you know, I saw you on the Howard Stern movie, you know. It's like, oh yeah, I I'm like, I think that's the first time I saw you. I go, that was fucking hilarious, you know. And he's like, oh yeah, that was a blast too, you know. And then I think he bought me a beer. Giamatti bought me a beer. And then we shot some pool because there was a pool table. I go, want to shoot some pool? He's like, yeah, sure. So that was Giamatti. And then Peter Graves. Okay, so Peter Graves was on the ski lift. Giamatti at the rap party. Who else did I see? Ever run into William Shatner? I never have. No, I don't think so. Vicky Cardi, my mom was there. She's no fool. I'm no fool. I like Cinderella. Mr. Spock, did you get to keep the monkey costume? No. No. Especially those masks. People were stealing those masks and they were trying to sell them on eBay. And so it got to the point where you had to turn your ID in to get your mask. You had to give them your driver's license or, you know, a state issued ID, and they would put it in a little filing thing or whatever to check out your mask. Because they had about 5 or 6 of them stolen right off the bat. Wendy S says, I was in an H&M in Montreal, and Kirsten Dunst was 10 feet away. My hubby recognized her, not me. I was talking to her mom about how pretty the spring clothes were. Wow. This is back in probably around 1990, 89 or 90. I was in, I guess it was Lancaster. I was at one of those shoe stores like Foot Locker or something. Or no, I think it was Big Five. Yeah, actually it was Big Five Sporting Goods. But I was back in the shoe department getting some shoes. I was looking for shoes, some tennis shoes. And who do I see trying on shoes? But freaking, what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name. Dennis. What's Dennis's name, you guys? You know, Dennis from Easy Rider and Apocalypse Now and stuff. How can I forget his name? He's a great actor. Anyhow, he was in there with this really hot chick. You know, and here he was, like, at the time, I don't know, what was he, in the 60s or something? Anyhow, and he's trying on shoes, and then he's looking for shoes, and I'm looking for shoes, and then he starts asking me, like I work there or something. I didn't have my gear on. I wasn't. But he's like, do you have? Or I don't think he said, do you have these? He's like, do you know if they have these in a size whatever? And I was like, I don't know. I don't work here. I go, that guy works here, and I pointed him to somebody who worked there, and he's like, oh, okay, thanks. Dennis Hopper, there you go. Liberal Dan, thanks for that. Arizona says, he seemed nice, but if he was acting his character, I can imagine. About John Ritter was a real jerk. Oh, really? I was sad when John Ritter died. I like John Ritter, but Eileen says, Paul Giamatti seems like he's such an easy person to talk to. Loved him in Leftovers. Yeah, he was good. He was a cool guy. Let's see. Arizona Sunflowers, Chubby Checker First Twist album. I remember, I think I had the K-Tel, like, greatest hits thing or whatever, and it had, like, Chubby Checker, The Twist on there. Vicky Cardi says, Arizona's son, back in the day, mom just didn't want me kidnapped by a roadie or something. Hey, there's Good Vibes Tribe. It says, hey, John. Hey, chat. Well, hey, back at you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on by. Yeah, the one that says Hopper. Yeah, so it was Dennis Hopper was getting shoes and apparently thought I worked there and asked me if they come in a size 10 or something. I don't know. And I was like, I don't know. Big Hook says, I miss Robin Williams so much. His speed was amazing. You were laughing at 3 things at once with snot coming out of your nose, YouTube is a godsend. Yeah, and Robin seemed like, he could do that manic thing, but when you see some of his like serious roles, he seemed to be so earnest, I guess, or sincere in the way he did his performances. Really amazing that he's like this stand-up comic, but then he could do these dramatic roles too, that really just kind of hit your heart. Did you get his autograph? No, I didn't. I know almost. I don't think I have any autographs. I've met, a few people here and there. No autographs, no pictures. Vicky Cardi says, Arizona's son, thank God things have improved. Jolie says I met William Shatner at a Comic-Con. He was okay, but who I really loved meeting was Armin Shimmerman. Super kind soul, loved him. I don't know who that is. Did he play some Star Trek character? I don't know. Good Vibes Tribe says, they say you should never meet your idols. That's why I try not to make people my idols. Like, seeing Hal, I just don't want to bug people, Like, I don't want to be like that guy that just like bugs somebody like, hey, how you doing, dude? So it's always kind of awkward and kind of, I'm kind of hesitant to go up to someone. Like even at that concert or at that show, it's not a concert, but that show, that Nerd Halen show the other night. And I had that opportunity to meet Hal. And I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? So he was talking to somebody else, and he turned around, and then I was like, okay, I knew that I just had that moment. If I had let it go any longer, then the moment would have passed, and then would have gotten even like weirder, more awkward. So I just sort of blurted out, I'm like, hey Hal, and then I was surprised. He was like, hey, yeah, what? He just didn't, he just didn't miss a beat. He just like was like, yeah, what? So that's why I did that, because I was like, okay, I've got, this is it. If we're gonna talk to Hal, you can't let this moment pass. And so I'm glad I did, because it was really fun meeting him and just kind of shooting the shit for, a couple minutes with him. Hey, there's WWW. Only 2 W's. Hey to John and the gang. I missed the beginning again. Been voting and shopping and cooking and eating. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here now. So good to see you. I've just been in this sort of like, I guess, marijuana hangover. I had an edible last night, like 12 hours ago or something, and I woke up where I feel all groggy. It's really weird. And now I've drank 2 bottles of water. I'm about to go get another bottle because it's giving me massive cotton mouth. www says intelligent people are usually good at many things. Oh yeah, that's because you could do shopping and voting and cooking and eating. Fancy says Vincent Price was a true gentleman. He was a dear man. That's good. He seems like he was pretty cool. I remember seeing him on some interviews and things. Mr. Spock says, I would have to pretend to work there, give him an over-the-top acting job, then ask about a part in an upcoming movie. Who would that be? I spoke with Tim Burton a little bit too at the wrap party. And that's another thing about, well, I did take some pictures, but I didn't take any pictures with the stars. And I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with Tim Burton. He's the director, very famous, right? And we're watching Big Bob. Big Bob was one of the gorillas, and he was like 6'5", and he was a really big dude. And he was up singing karaoke. They were doing some karaoke, and he loved to just sing karaoke. And Tim Burton actually got up out of his booth, and because I was standing there watching, and Tim Burton comes and stands right next to me. And so I think we're both standing there kind of like with our arms crossed, and we're just watching. And it's this kind of amazed at that Big Bob, this big huge dude, singing some funny karaoke song. And I kind of glance over and I say, oh, it's Tim Burton, And I got my digital camera in my pocket, and I really, there's a part of me that so wanted to just go, hey Tim, mind if we take a selfie and just do it, But then I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to always be. I just want to enjoy the moment, You're like me and Tim Burton were having a moment, or our shoulders were touching, for crying out loud, and we're watching Big Bob on the stage sing karaoke, and so it would have been nice to have a picture of that, but I didn't want to ruin the moment. So I guess I got the picture in my mind forever, until I go crazy. Jolie says Armin Shimmerman played Quark on DS9, John. I didn't watch DS9. I don't even know what DS9 is. So, sorry. Arizona Sunflower says, no, people are just people in reality, but some big stars get too full of themselves and they believe their own hype too much. I met lots of 70s bands. Oh. Good Vibes Tribe says, I think it's just an old wives' tale type of thing. I don't know what, because sometimes when I skip, I don't know what you're talking about, but I have to skip a little bit because I'm way behind. Fancy says, I love his character Quark. Eileen, I don't know who Quark is, guys. Eileen says, I sat right behind Vince Vaughn at the Hollywood Bowl and sat on my hands the whole time so I wouldn't bother him. Hubba hubba. So you got a little thing there for Vince, huh? WW voted for Nikki. That's so funny. Trump, he hates that so much. So good for you, W. Good Vibe Tribe says, I have met some famous people and they were just people. People are people all over the world. Get some coffee. I know, I need some. I'm going to go. Should I go make a cup? And you guys can talk amongst yourselves while I go make that. Take me about 5 minutes. Mad Mac says, Viva La Viga, Viva Las Vegas. Hey, Mad Mac, good to see you here. Thanks for coming by the old truck stop. Always good to see you. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Hiya, gang. Did you see the chick that threw out the first ball at LA Dodger game in South Korea? I guess all the players were going gaga watching her. I did see a clip of that. I forget if that was on YouTube or on the actual, I have the MLB.com and mine set up, of course, for Dodgers. It might have been on the Dodger page or it might have been on YouTube. She was really cute and everyone, I guess, they were all making a big deal out of it. Arizona says, I met Janis Joplin when she was just starting, unknown still. She was drugged out and drunk, unfortunately, but a cute, tiny, freckle-faced kid. So sad she left so early. Yeah, she had, a lot of issues, and she tried to drown them out with drugs and booze, apparently. Jolie says, John, Star Trek DS9. I know, but I don't watch. I watched the original Star Trek series, the very, very original with Shatner and everything, and that's about it. I mean, a little bit of the next ones that came out with like Picard and the other dude. So I know who like Data is and shit like that, but I never really got into all that. Arizona says, yes, go on. Go, John. So yeah, you think I should get some coffee? Because I am feeling really low energy, I guess. All right, I'm going to go make some coffee. You guys chat amongst yourselves whilst I do that. Deep Space Nine, W says, I don't watch it very often, but I remember Quark and his huge ears. Oh, is that who Quark was? The guy with the wrinkly forehead? And he was like some alien, huh? Or something. Mr. Bucks, I found an old picture once with someone I didn't recognize, so I asked my mother who it is. She says, "That's you, silly. It was me before I lost 100 pounds. Wow. Well, congratulations on losing that weight there." Mr. Spock says, "DS9 is so good." I don't doubt those shows are good. I just never got into them. Arizona Sunflower says there are lots of other Star Trek series. I know there's so many I can't keep track of it. Arizona, okay, we'll do. Good Ride Prize. Eileen, if he loses, there will be trouble. If he wins, it will be double. Do I stay or do I go? Okay, so I'll be right back, guys. What happened to the music? All right. You guys still there? Are we still on? All right, I made me a coffee. Brought back some more water. And I also made a bagel so you guys can see, you can watch me eat some more. All right. So where were we? What were you guys talking about while I was gone? I'm talking about Star Trek. Jolie says Armin Shimmerman is the exact opposite of Quark in real life. He said that's why he loved playing him so much. He's more like the character Antaeus that he played in SG-1. Very soft-spoken. Stargate, I never got into that show either, although it looked like it was a really good show. I mean, I saw a few episodes, I guess, over here and there. Let me, I have moved this. Okay. All right, so I got my coffee. Hopefully I won't burn my tongue. I've got the munchies. I think so. Star Trek porno. Hey, Seha. By the way, good to see you here. Glad to see you guys are still here. I still have 19 watching. I didn't lose everybody during that long break. So we got WW. Hey, Teresa, good to see you. So I can, by the way, W, I can see Teresa now. Goodbye. The conversation turned, John. Uh-oh. William, there's one of those flowers that Shatner naked. Wow. See, I missed a lot. What did I miss with this, with Shatner naked? Big Hook, I love MacGyver. I like that show. Didn't they try to make a new one or something? And I don't know. There's just something, I like the original MacGyver. Oh, so I guess there was another one. So let me just go back a little bit. See what I missed. WW says, I'm not sure I would recognize Tim Burton. Arlene says, do we think 45 will win? Let's see. Mad Max says, Janis Joplin always had a bottle of Southern Comfort on stage when she was performing. I saw her at the Fillmore West in San Francisco. Wow. Those are some pretty famous times there at the Fillmore West. Eileen says, I'm going to fix a very late breakfast to have some coffee. See you later. All right, Eileen, I hope you're enjoying. Jolie says, Corcus Feringae, I feel faint. I feel like everyone should know all this. I just didn't get into it. And I was driving a lot. Truck driving. So there was just only so much stuff I could, watch. Let's see what else is going on here. We got because we're talking about Star Trek, lots of Star Trek stuff here. Apparently, Star Trek parodies from Mr. Spock, I think. Arizona sunflowers. No, can you imagine Shatner without his girdle? Okay, so we didn't turn it off. Oh, the music. I guess it just ran its course. Vicky Cardi says, Arizona Sun, in the 70s, we saw Barbara Streisand shooting at Tempe, Arizona, or Tempe Stadium, A Star is Born, and in the 80s, the Rolling Stones. That's cool. So, I'm way out of these chats here. You guys are talking about, I guess, Star Trek and Shatner. And Hal recommended it because he liked Alan Tudyk. WW says, laughing out loud. AS, Arizona Sunshine. I got one at Christmas time, so not too bad. I'll live and look normal by Easter. Say How says, Scotty was missing a finger. Arizona, I just got to Arizona 10 years ago. Good Vibes Tribe has not had a haircut in over a year. Previous to this haircut I got a few months ago, it's been a few months now. I had gone over a year, and that was like the longest I think I'd ever gone without a haircut. There's Cynthia from Texas. Howdy, Texas. Howdy, Trucker Johns. Sparkler love from Texas. Well, thank you so much for being here, Cynthia. Always good to see you. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff for me. Really appreciate it. W says, 4 times a year, Arizona sun, maybe an extra in the summer. I keep my ears and beard trim. Well, good to know. That's good to know, W. Arizona Sunflower says, well, I'm glad I don't have to worry about extra hair. Mr. Spock says, in one scene, Mr. Spock does a sex mind meld to Ahoa while on a planet, and she's in orbit. Good Vibe Tribe says, I grow mine out and just shave it. WW says, I had long hair until I started going bald. I probably won't get mine cut for another few months. Maybe. I don't know. It's not very long. Because she cut a lot off. And I think I got this, like, I think I got this haircut like 3 or 4 months ago. And look, it's hardly even grown. So last night, I started watching Poker Face. You guys ever watch that show? I know that came out a couple of years ago or last year. And I never got around to seeing it, but I love what's her name? Natasha Lyonne or something like that. She was, that little redhead in Orange is the New Black. And, she's like this sort of like feisty, kind of like East Coast girl, And then I saw her in, I guess it was Russian Dolls, that was the name of it. And that was a really good show. It's really trippy, a lot of weird, almost like Groundhog Day type of thing, or, going back and forth through time, or jumping back and forth. But it was really interesting. I really liked that show. And Poker Face, I think it came out around the same time, or maybe right after that one, or right before it. I don't know. So I don't know if they did any other seasons, but I started season 1 last night, first episode. And it was really good. I really liked it. She's really good. She does good stuff. I mean, the shows she's on are really good shows, So I don't know if you guys have seen that or not. Bishop Box says, baldness is a sign of high testosterone. Baldness is just a solar sex panel. Arizona Sunflower says, is that a real show or made up in your mind, Mr. Spock? Good Vibes Tribe says, if I have something important, I will get it cut properly. Michael McAndrews says, I have hair halfway down my back, but not much on top. Isn't that weird, huh? We bald. WW says, laughing out loud, something funny looking about a bald guy with long hair. Mad Max says, I just watched Lady Gaga singing Poker Face. I didn't know there was a show on the telly. Yeah, it's, I was watching it last night on Peacock. On the Peacock streaming service or whatever you call it. I'm not sure if there's other places you can get it. But it has like 10 episodes, this first season. Like I said, I don't even know. I was going to Google, are they going to do a second season? So I don't know what's going on. Or maybe if it was just a one-off. That's kind of some big stars. It had, Adrian Brody, isn't it? It's kind of a big star. Didn't he win an Oscar? Mm-hmm. Yeah, remember, because he kissed Halle Berry, remember? Terry says, yes, I love Natasha. Watch Poker Face, it's good, but that was before they started charging for Peacock. I think I have it free. Arizona Sunflower says, wow. Arizona Sunflower says, wow. Jolie says, stop perving up my wholesome Star Trek. WW says, I do a cap, Arizona Sun. W says, I hope John is okay. Me too. Arizona says, Peacock's free, I think, last night. Watching that thing. And I was just wondering, do they have a premium version of this so I don't have to watch these stupid commercials? WW says, peacocks are mean. WW says, peacocks are mean and noisy and dirty. Mr. Spock, 420 puff puff pass. Mad Mac. I'm pretty sure I was watching Peacock last night and I just clicked on it. I don't think I pay for that. If I pay for that and have to watch commercials, then there's something wrong with that. It was that I was watching. WWE shouldn't vape too much if I'm driving to the barber. No, I don't recommend that. Maybe you should just Uber over. WWE says shouldn't vape too much. Oh, I read that. From Reservoir Dogs. What was the name? That was a pretty good show. I remember I liked that. I saw at least the first season of that. See a show starring Hal and Tim Roth together. That'd be cool. Terry Taylor says, well, I have Comcast on the East Coast. I guess it just depends on what cable you have and where you live. WWE says, I got some sort of offer from Peacock for $2 the first year. Thought it was a joke. And sold it to the studios or whatever. And then they had Tony Scott direct it. Ridley Scott's brother. And Tony Scott committed suicide about a few years ago. Jumped off freaking, like Long Beach overpass or something. I've gone over that overpass. It's a very, very, very high overpass. It's almost scary to movie. And I remember watching it and thinking, I could see the Tarantino in this movie, and I always kind of thought, I think Tony Scott, I think he probably did it pretty much like Tarantino would have done it. I think, even though he didn't know Tarantino from Hole in the Ground at that time, but I think that, I don't know, it just seems like a Tarantino. I think he did a good job, and I guess maybe, staying close to the script, and that shows through. But then I heard an interview with Tarantino where it was great the way it was. But then from the money he got from True Romance, then he was able to parlay that into working on Reservoir Dogs, I believe, right? And then he was able to get the Weinsteins in on it and to produce it, executive produce it. And the rest from there is, as they say, history. History. WW says Tarantino Diamond Heist flick. Yeah. Michael Manjandro now it's fine. BJ Daniel, the channel we watch some sports on, Root Sports, raised their price to around $20 a month. Yeah, they just price us out, don't they? Big Hook says, I really hope they enter. See, a lot of these shows, these broadcast shows, I just don't get into. Mr. Spock says, I think there's a Deep Space Nine one. Churchill says, me too. The stream is buffering a lot. Oh, is it really? Am I buffering? It might be weak network connection. What's going on, people? People. Why are we getting a weak connection, people? People who use the internet too much around here. Well, hopefully. Oh, wow. We're at 2 hours, 20 minutes. Okay, guys. So as far as I know, Hal is coming on at 3 today, right? Have we heard anything? Because I was thinking if he's not, maybe I would do it. Because he might be a full travel day. I don't know. If Hal isn't coming on, I might pop on at 3. And I was thinking about seeing if Wes wants to do one of those shows together. I heard maintenance knocking, but I don't think it was my apartment. I think it's upstairs, but anyhow, because they got to fix their shit too, I think, because their shit was leaking down on my shit. But anyhow, if someone could verify for me if Hal West, see if he wants to maybe do a show together, maybe. Well, I'm just hearing noises, guys. Hopefully it's not still buffering. Hopefully not. Yeah, sometimes this thing pops in. It says transmission is unstable due to a weak network connection. So sorry about that. We're getting weak over here. Fancy says nap time for me. See you guys later. Thank you, Fancy. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Like I said, I might come in at 3 if Hal is not going on. But if he is going on, then I won't go on. Big Hook says, Tarantino says he is doing one last movie and retiring. Yeah, I've been hearing that for a long time, and he might do that. I don't know. I wonder if he'll stick to it. Or I heard he was going to stop making, he was going to make one more movie, and then he wanted to do other things, like more television or television or something. Somebody says, buffering a bit. I expect Hal today said he'd do extra this week to make up for Monday. Big Hook says, only Andrea knows. So anyhow, yeah, so just know that if Hal isn't going to go on, then I'll pop on. But otherwise, I'll see you guys probably not till Thursday, huh? Thursday we do 9 a.m. Pacific time. All my times are Pacific time, just so you know. And then we usually do a 3 p.m. Pacific time. That's when we like to do the warm-up show. We're warming up because Hal comes on at 4. So we do a little warm-up, little pre-show warm-up. Hopefully I won't be like, pot hungover, I won't have my weed hangover. I'll be a little more lively, I think, because I think it really is bringing me down, man. It's really bringing me down. Wow. They must have a major plumbing issue up there. That's what was leaking down into my bathtub. Kids and stuff. Can you guys hear that? That's upstairs. They're working on their plumbing. Arizona says, chug your coffee. I know, I've been just sipping it. All right, guys. So with that, I think that's a sign that I need to pack it up. Joey says, Andrea says he, I guess 3 p.m. Pacific time over there at Hal. Arizona sounds like drums. Terry says, okay, John Levinell, that. Who knows? I was thinking about going to Whataburger because I haven't tried the new Whataburger here yet. Maybe we'll do a live stream from that and you guys can watch me eat a hamburger. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow. And then Thursday we'll be back on 9 a.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. And, and whatever else pops up. But in the meantime, you guys, what I want you to do is, what I'd like you to do is make sure you stretch out, and, get nice and loose, be loose, because I don't want you to pull a hammy. I kind of did that a little soon. thought it was about time that I show everyone my real, true self. Trucker John is a monkey. There's a taco cat on the dashboard. Hey, it's me again. Ahoy, mateys.